Mother-in-law, you really need to go today. My daughter-in-law Mijang's voice echoed coldly through the living room. Winter sunlight was streaming through the window, but the air inside felt frozen. A nursing home. Are you sending me away? When I asked in a trembling voice, my daughter-in-law didn't even turn her head. She simply pointed with her chin at the small black bag on the floor. At that moment, my grandson Min-jae grabbed my arm and burst into tears. Grandma, don't go, please. But my daughter-in-law coldly pulled Min-jae's hand away. And my son just stood there with his head down, staring at the wall. My name is Park Sunja. I'm 73 years old. After losing my husband 5 years ago, I've been living in this house with my son's family and my grandson Min-jae. The day my husband passed away, I held my son's hand tightly at the funeral home. Mom, let's live together. I won't leave you alone. I believed those words from my son Junyuk. So I packed up the rural home where I'd spent my entire life and moved to Seoul. At first, everything was wonderful. My daughter-in-law Mijang was kind, and my grandson Min-jae adored me. I made kimchi stew every morning, and when Min-jae came home from school, I prepared snacks for him. At night, I put him to bed while telling him old stories. I often think of the rural home where I lived with my husband. The cosmos flowers blooming in the yard, the persimmon tree by the earthenware pots. The wooden bench where we'd sit together in the evening, sharing a cup of makgeolli. Honey, we raised our son well. Now let's live comfortably. I remember the day my husband said those words. But 3 months later, my husband suddenly collapsed. It was a brain hemorrhage. He couldn't survive 3 days in the hospital. After the funeral, the house felt too big and empty. That's why I accepted my son's proposal. I decided to move to Seoul. But about 2 years ago, the atmosphere began to change. It started after I heard my daughter-in-law was planning to have a second child. Mother-in-law, we need the room if we're going to have a second baby. With you here, it's a bit difficult. My daughter-in-law's tone gradually became sharper. My small room became a problem. I carefully suggested, then I can sleep in the living room. But my daughter-in-law shook her head. That's not it. Mother-in-law, you're getting older now, so you might need professional care. Professional care? I was healthy. I took walks every morning and went shopping by myself. But in my daughter-in-law's eyes, I seemed to have become a burden. Strange things kept happening over the past few months. My daughter-in-law would talk loudly on the phone in front of me. Yes, I'm looking into nursing homes for my mother-in-law. She has some symptoms of dementia. I was shocked. Mijang, I don't have dementia. My daughter-in-law smiled sarcastically. Mother-in-law, when you have symptoms, you don't know it yourself. From that day on, my daughter-in-law started taking notes on everything I did. Whenever I looked for the TV remote, she'd take photos with her phone. Mother-in-law, you asked the same question yesterday too. It wasn't true, but my daughter-in-law kept saying things like that. This morning, that day finally came. My daughter-in-law appeared in the living room with a bag. Mother-in-law, get ready. The taxi will be here soon. Where are we going? To a nursing home. You're finding it hard to live alone now, aren't you? I'm fine. I'm still. Mother-in-law, you can't keep doing this. This is all for your own good. Junyuk. I looked at my son. He was sitting on the sofa with his head down. Junyuk, please listen to me. Mom, Mijang is right. You've been forgetting things a lot lately. That's not true. I'm perfectly fine. My voice trembled. Then Min-jae ran out of his room. Grandma, don't go. Min-jae hugged my waist tightly. Tears streamed down his cheeks. Min-jae, Grandma, I don't want you to go. I want to live with Grandma. My daughter-in-law grabbed Min-jae's arm. Min-jae, go to your room. This is adult business. Mom is mean. Don't send Grandma away. Min-jae. My daughter-in-law's voice grew sharp. Min-jae was eventually dragged crying into his room. The taxi arrived. The driver honked the horn. I slowly picked up my bag. I couldn't feel its weight. Inside were just 2 sets of thermal underwear and 1 old sweater. A lifetime of belongings fit into this one small bag. As I stepped out the door, I could hear Min-jae crying. Grandma, Grandma. I wanted to turn around, but I held back. If tears started flowing, I wouldn't be able to take another step. I got into the back seat of the taxi. The driver asked, where should I take you? My daughter-in-law held out a piece of paper through the window. The address of a nursing home was written on it. Here, please hurry. My daughter-in-law's voice was cold. The taxi started moving. Through the rearview mirror, I watched the house grow smaller and smaller. The figures of my daughter-in-law and son, standing at the entrance, became blurry. The winter streets passed by the window. People were walking busily. Everyone seemed to have somewhere to go. But where was I going? I looked down at the bag in my hands. And suddenly I thought, is this the end? But something was strange. When my daughter-in-law said this morning that I needed to be admitted urgently, those words kept echoing in my mind. Urgently? What was so urgent? I hadn't suddenly fallen ill, there hadn't been an accident. Why was my daughter-in-law in such a hurry? The taxi kept driving. I looked at my reflection in the mirror. A wrinkled face, white hair, unfashionable clothes. Had I really become a useless old woman? My grandson Min-jae's crying still echoed in my ears. Grandma, don't go. I'm sorry, Min-jae. I'm sorry Grandma couldn't protect you. The scenery outside became blurry. Whether from tears or from my aging eyes, I couldn't tell. But one thing was certain. At the end of this road, some truth was waiting. And that truth would change everything. I touched the pocket in my bag. Inside was an old notebook my husband had left behind. The last sentence written in it came to mind. Sunja, don't give up until the end. The truth will always be revealed. The taxi crossed the Han River. From the bridge, the river water sparkled in the winter sunlight. In the past, my husband and I often walked along this riverside, holding hands, slowly, without saying a word. Honey, look at that egret. It's waiting to catch fish. I remembered my husband pointing and saying those words. But now I'm alone. The taxi driver glanced at me in the rearview mirror. Ma'am, is this your first time going to a nursing home? Yes, it's my first time. Your family will visit often. Don't worry. The driver spoke as if to comfort me. But I knew. My daughter-in-law wouldn't come. My son would distance himself with excuses about being busy. Only Min-jae would want to see me, but would that even be allowed? I thought back to 5 years ago when I first came to Seoul. My son came to meet me at the station. Mom, live comfortably with us now. You can see your grandson too. My daughter-in-law also greeted me with a smile. Mother-in-law, I'll take good care of you. The first month was truly wonderful. Every morning I'd wake grandson Min-jae, pack his lunch, and take him to school. Grandma, they say school lunch is bad today. I want to eat what you packed. Min-jae held my hand tightly. In the evening, the whole family sat around the table for dinner. My daughter-in-law talked about work, and my son helped Min-jae with homework. Mother-in-law, this kimchi is really delicious. Please teach me the recipe. My daughter-in-law said those words. I was happy. This is family, this is what it means to live together happily, I thought. But after about a year, things gradually changed. My daughter-in-law started coming home late more often. She said she worked at an insurance company. Mother-in-law, I have an appointment today so I'll be late. Please take care of Min-jae's dinner. I said it was fine. Taking care of my grandson was natural. But when my daughter-in-law came home, she'd enter her room with a tired expression. Without even greeting. Mijong, did you have dinner? Yes, I ate outside. The door closed. I asked my son, Junyuk, is Mijong having a hard time lately? Mom, she has a lot of work at the company. Please understand. I nodded. My daughter-in-law must be busy too. I should understand. From 2 years ago, the conversation stopped completely. My daughter-in-law wouldn't even look at my face. Mother-in-law, we need to send Min-jae to academy. You pamper him too much and he's becoming weak. Really? Then I'll take care of him less. That's not it. Having you here is bad for his education. I couldn't understand what she meant. Why is loving my grandson bad? Mijong, what did I do wrong? Nothing. It's just, I'm stressed these days. My daughter-in-law said that and turned away. That back was unfamiliar. She wasn't the warm daughter-in-law from before. The taxi stopped. We've arrived. A building came into view. A 5-story white building. A sign saying, Silvertown Nursing Home, was attached. Several cars were parked in the parking lot. Elderly people in wheelchairs were resting in the sun by the entrance. Would I become like that too? I got out with my bag. When I tried to pay the taxi fare, the driver waved his hand. Your son already paid. Really? Thank you, the driver said carefully. Ma'am, stay healthy. The taxi drove away. I stood alone in front of the building. I needed to open the door and go in, but my feet wouldn't move. A staff member came out and guided me. Ma'am, this way please. A young woman. She was wearing a nurse's uniform. I entered the consultation room. A middle-aged man sat across the desk. Ma'am, please sit. You're Park Sunja, correct? Yes, that's right. Your daughter-in-law contacted us. She said it's an emergency admission. The word emergency came up again. Emergency? What? We heard you have some symptoms. Symptoms? What symptoms? The man shuffled through papers. Early-stage dementia symptoms, memory decline, loss of sense of direction, repetitive questions. No, I don't have that. My voice grew loud. The man looked flustered. Ma'am, please calm down. Your family member said so. My daughter-in-law lied. I'm perfectly fine. Ma'am, usually dementia patients aren't aware of their own symptoms. It was frustrating. Who would believe me? I took out my phone from my bag. I called my son. The ringtone rang for a long time. Hello? It was my son's voice. Junyuk, it's Mom. The people here are saying I have dementia. What is this about? Mom, I'm fine. Why did you lie? Mom, Mijong said so. She said you keep repeating the same things and getting lost. That's not true. I've never done that. Mom, please calm down. The nursing home will take good care of you. Junyuk, please just believe Mom. Mom, I'm sorry. I think this is for the best. The call ended. The phone slipped from my hand and fell. The consultation room staff offered me a glass of water. Ma'am, please drink this. I didn't take it. I looked out the window. The sky was cloudy. It looked like it might snow. Ma'am, you need to fill out the admission papers. Do I have to stay here? Your family wants it. Family. I laughed. A bitter laugh. What is family? Are people who abandon me family? The staff pushed the papers forward. Please sign here. I picked up the pen. My hand trembled. As I tried to write my name in the signature line, tears fell. Looking at the tear stains spreading on the paper, I thought, is this the end of my life? Then the staff's phone rang. Yes, ma'am. Your mother-in-law has arrived. She's filling out papers now. The staff took the call and went into the hallway. The voice was faint. Yes, don't worry. We'll take good care of her. I looked down at the papers on the desk. Reason for admission: early-stage dementia symptoms was written. It was a lie. My daughter-in-law's lie. Why did she do it? Why did she try to make me a dementia patient? Suddenly the past few months came to mind. My daughter-in-law taking photos of my actions, taking notes. Saying, "Mother-in-law, you asked the same question yesterday, whenever I asked something." Was it all planned? The staff returned. Ma'am, did you finish signing? Just a moment. I opened the pocket in my bag. My husband's old notebook came out. I opened the last page. Sunja, don't give up until the end. The truth will always be revealed. It was my husband's handwriting. I gripped the notebook tightly. And I made a decision. I won't give up. I'll reveal the truth. Why my daughter-in-law tried to send me to a nursing home, why she tried to make me a dementia patient. I'll definitely find out the reason. Ma'am? The staff urged me. I picked up the pen. And I wrote my name in the signature line. Park Sunja. Slowly, clearly. But this wasn't the end. It was the beginning. The beginning of finding the truth. I looked at the staff and asked, "Can I use the phone here?" "Yes, you can use it freely." "What about going outside?" "It's possible with guardian consent." Guardian consent. My daughter-in-law would never allow it. But there must be a way. I'll definitely find it. I picked up my bag. The staff guided me to the hallway. It's room 306 on the 3rd floor. It's a double room. I got on the elevator. I looked at my reflection in the mirror. It was a wrinkled face, but my eyes were alive. It's not over yet. It's not time to give up yet. Honey, you were right. The truth will definitely be revealed. I'll make sure of it. I opened the door to room 306. It was a small room. 2 beds, a small desk, and 1 wardrobe, that was all. The winter sky was visible through the window. My roommate hadn't arrived yet, so 1 bed was empty. I put my bag on the bed and sat down. The springs creaked. Is this my home now? Not the rural house where I lived my whole life. Not my son's house where I lived for 5 years, but this unfamiliar room. An announcement came on for lunchtime. "Dear residents, it's mealtime." Please come down to the first floor dining room. I didn't move. I wasn't hungry. Or more precisely, I didn't want to eat. I looked out the window and thought, what is my daughter-in-law doing now? Has Mean Jay stopped crying? Is my son regretting it? There was a knock. Ma'am, are you in? It was the nurse from earlier. Aren't you going to eat? I'm not hungry. It's because it's your first time. But you should eat a little. The nurse was kind. Wait just a moment. I'll bring it to you. I was alone again. I wanted to take out my phone and call Mean Jay. But I knew my daughter-in-law would answer. There was another knock. Ma'am, I brought your meal. The nurse came in with a tray. Rice, soup, and a few side dishes were on it. Take your time eating. When you're done, please come down to the consultation room on the first floor. The consultation room? Yes, there are a few more documents to sort out. The nurse left. I picked up the spoon. I put a spoonful of rice in my mouth. It had no taste. Or rather, I couldn't feel it. About 30 minutes later, I went down to the consultation room. On the first floor, the hallway was quiet. It seemed all the elderly residents were napping. The consultation room door was half open. I could hear voices inside. Yes, ma'am. Your mother-in-law is doing well. It was the male staff member from before. He was on the phone. I was about to knock but stopped. Yes, you said early-stage dementia, right? But your mother-in-law says she doesn't have it. My heart pounded. He was talking to my daughter-in-law. Ah, I see. When there are symptoms, the person doesn't know. Yes, I understand. A brief silence. Yes? Insurance documents? Ah, you need your mother-in-law's information? Insurance documents? Yes, but we can't just give out resident registration numbers and medical history as their personal information. I could faintly hear my daughter-in-law explaining something. Ah, since you're an insurance planner. But we still need your mother-in-law's consent. I held my breath. Yes, I understand. I'll ask your mother-in-law and contact you. The call ended. I quickly stepped back a few steps. Then slowly walked forward and knocked. Come in. I opened the door and entered. Ah, ma'am, you're here. Please sit. The staff took out some papers. Let me confirm a few more things. What is your medical history? Medical history? Nothing special. Just blood pressure medication. When were you diagnosed with dementia? Diagnosed? I've never been diagnosed. The staff looked puzzled. But your daughter-in-law said you have early-stage dementia? My daughter-in-law is mistaken. Then you'll need to get an accurate examination at the hospital. The staff made notes. Then asked carefully, ma'am, your daughter-in-law wants to use your information for insurance documents. Do you consent? Insurance documents? Yes, your daughter-in-law said she works at an insurance company. My mind became complicated. Why does my daughter-in-law need my information? Right now. Let me think about it. Yes, please. Take your time and let me know. I finished the consultation and came out to the hallway. Then the staff urgently made a call somewhere. Yes, ma'am. Your mother-in-law didn't consent. I hid in a corner of the hallway. What? You'll speak to your mother-in-law directly? You're coming now? My daughter-in-law was coming. I hurried up to the third floor. I entered room 306 and locked the door. My heart was racing. Something was strange. My daughter-in-law's actions were too urgent. Why does she need my information so badly? About 30 minutes passed. I heard footsteps in the hallway. You said room 306, right? It was my daughter-in-law's voice. There was a knock. Mother-in-law, are you in? It's me, Mijong. I sat on the bed without moving. Mother-in-law? Please open the door. The knocking continued. Your mother-in-law must be sleeping. It was the nurse's voice. Should I open it with the master key? No, it's okay. I'll come back later. The footsteps faded away. I exhaled. Why was I avoiding her? Shouldn't I meet my daughter-in-law? No, I need to meet her. But before that, I felt I needed to check something. Dinner time arrived. An announcement came on. I carefully opened the door and checked the hallway. My daughter-in-law wasn't visible. I went down to the first floor. The consultation room lights were off. The staff seemed to have gone for dinner too. I looked around and carefully opened the consultation room door. Fortunately, it wasn't locked. I went inside. Papers were piled on the desk. I found my documents. Park Sunja resident admission record was written. I turned the pages, and I stopped at one sentence. Guardian request quick issuance of dementia diagnosis. Purpose insurance claim. Insurance claim? My hands trembled. Was my daughter-in-law Trying to make me a dementia patient to receive insurance money? I searched more. An email my daughter-in-law had sent was printed out. Mother-in-law's early-stage dementia symptoms serious. Urgent admission needed. Will apply for long-term care grade once diagnosis is issued. It was a lie. Everything was my daughter-in-law's lie. I took photos of the documents with my phone. I needed to secure evidence. Then I heard footsteps in the hallway. Is the consultation room light on? It was a nurse's voice. I hurriedly put the papers back and hid under the desk. The door opened. That's strange. Nobody's here. The light turned on. I held my breath. The nurse looked around the room. I must have forgotten to turn it off. The light went off again. The door closed. The footsteps faded away. I slowly stood up. My legs were shaking. I carefully left the consultation room. I passed through the hallway toward the stairs. But I heard voices in the first-floor lobby. Didn't your mother say she'd come again today, but she didn't come? A nurse was talking to someone on the phone. Ah, she's coming tomorrow? Yes, I understand. It was my daughter-in-law. She's coming again tomorrow. I went up to the third floor and entered my room. I sat on the bed and looked at the photos on my phone again. I had secured the evidence. But what can I do with this? Should I show it to my son? Will my son believe me? Then my phone rang. It was an unknown number. I answered. Hello? Grandma. It was Mean Jay. Mean Jay? How did you? I'm calling from my friend's phone. Grandma, when are you coming? Mean Jay. Mom and Dad fought. Because of Grandma. What? Dad got angry at Mom. He said she lied to Grandma. My heart beat. What did Dad say? Dad said, Mom did wrong. He said she needs to apologize to Grandma. Really? Grandma, come home quickly. I miss you. Mean Jay, Grandma misses you too. You promised. You said you wouldn't lie. Yes, Grandma will come soon. Really? Yes, really. I hung up. I looked out the window. The winter sun was setting. Orange sunset colored the sky. It was beautiful. A beautiful sight I hadn't seen in a long time. My son seems to know the truth. My daughter-in-law's lie. But what should I do now? Should I go back home? Or should I just stay here? I took out my husband's notebook. Sunja, don't give up until the end. The truth will always be revealed. The truth has been revealed. Now it's time to choose. To forgive or to distance myself. To remain family or to live alone. Night came. The hallway became quiet. I lay on the bed and looked at the ceiling. My daughter-in-law is coming tomorrow. Should I meet her? I'm not ready yet. Not mentally ready. But one thing was certain. I now knew the truth. And that truth would change everything. The next morning dawned. Winter sunlight came through the window. I hadn't slept properly all night. What should I say when my daughter-in-law comes? Should I get angry? Or should I just listen quietly? The breakfast announcement came on. I got up, washed my face, and went down to the first-floor dining room. Elderly residents were sitting here and there eating. I sat in a corner seat and received a bowl of porridge. I still couldn't taste it. I just mechanically put the spoon in my mouth. As I was about to return to my room. After eating, the front entrance on the first floor opened. Someone came in. It was my son. He was alone. My daughter-in-law wasn't there. My son's eyes were bloodshot red. It looked like he hadn't slept all night. Mom. My son approached me when he saw me. I stopped in place. How did you come? Mom. Let's talk. Where's Mijong? She's at home. I came alone. My son's voice trembled. Let's talk upstairs. There are too many people. I nodded. We went up to room 306 on the third floor. My son closed the door. We were alone. Silence flowed. My son stood by the window looking outside. I sat on the bed. Mom. My son turned around. Tears were welling up in his eyes. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. What are you sorry about? Everything. I didn't know. I didn't know Mijong would go that far. My son knelt down. He sat on the floor and bowed his head. Mom, please forgive me. I didn't say anything. My son lifted his head. Yesterday, I saw Mijong's laptop. Laptop? It was full of photos and notes of you, Mom. Records of what you did, what you said, everything was documented. And there were insurance design files too. Dementia insurance, long-term care insurance in your name. My son's voice trembled. Mijong tried to make you a dementia patient to receive insurance money. I know, Mom. I found out yesterday too. I saw the documents in the consultation room. I took out my phone and showed him the photos. My son looked at the screen. His face turned pale. Mom, how did you? I'm not a fool either. I felt something was strange. Mom, Junyuk, did you really not know? My son shook his head. I didn't know. I really didn't. Mijong said you had dementia. So I thought you did. So you sent me here? I'm sorry. I only believed what Mijong said. I didn't listen to you. My son opened his bag. He took out a laptop. Mom, please look at this. He turned on the screen. Files were listed. Mother-in-law's behavior record, dementia symptom. Checklist, insurance design plan, nursing home cost calculation. My son opened the files one by one. It was the mother-in-law's behavior record file. My actions were recorded by date. November 3, 2024. Mother-in-law spent 10 minutes looking for TV remote. Photographed. November 5, 2024. Mother-in-law asked question she asked yesterday again. Recorded. November 7, 2024. False testimony that mother-in-law got lost. Need witness. It was all lies. I had never gotten lost. The TV remote was something my daughter-in-law had hidden. Mom, there's more. My son opened another file. It was an insurance design plan. The title was Park Sunja Resident Dementia Insurance and Long-Term Care Insurance Subscription Plan. Expected insurance payouts were written. 20 million won upon dementia diagnosis. 1 million won per month for long-term care grade 1. 30 million won upon nursing home admission. Total over 50 million won. Is this all? I asked. My son shook his head. There's more. He opened another file. It was messages exchanged between my daughter-in-law and her insurance company supervisor. To increase performance, target family first. Especially insurance for elderly has high commissions. If you have a mother-in-law, get her to subscribe first. Just create symptoms. Dementia is hard to prove anyway. My hands trembled. Did my daughter-in-law do this following company instructions? Or was it her own choice? Mom, and there's this too. My son carefully opened another file. The title was Second Child Preparation Plan. Vacate mother-in-law's room, use as second child's room. Send mother-in-law to nursing home, save on childcare costs. Mother-in-law's insurance money, childbirth costs, loan repayment. The plan was written in detail. Mijong planned all of this. My son's voice grew quiet. Send you away, receive insurance money, have a second child. It was all planned. So that's why she didn't tell you. Yes. When I saw this yesterday, I was shocked. What did Mijong say? At first she denied it. But when I showed her these files, she broke down. What did she say? Crying. She said the company pressured her. That she'd be fired if her performance didn't improve. That loan interest was overdue and she got collection calls every day. So she used me? Mom, Mijong must have been struggling too. Does struggling make lying okay? My son couldn't answer. Junyuk, yes, Mom. Are you on your wife's side or Mom's side? Mom, it's not like that. Answer me. My son shed tears. I'm on your side, Mom. Of course I'm on your side. Then why didn't you believe me back then? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. My son bowed with his forehead to the floor. Mom, please forgive me. This will never happen again. Get up. Mom, I said get up. My son slowly stood up. I stood up too. I walked to the window. I looked outside. Elderly residents were sitting in the nursing home yard. They were sunbathing. Will I grow old like that too? Abandoned by family, growing old alone? Mom, let's go home. My son said from behind. Home? Yes, to our house. Let's live together again. What about Mijong? I talked to Mijong. What did you say? I told her to apologize to you. And if you don't forgive her. If I don't? I said I'd divorce her. I was shocked. Divorce? Yes. I misjudged Mijong. I didn't know she was this kind of person. Junyuk, that's. Mom, you're more important to me. More than Mijong. What about Minjae? Minjae misses you too. Yesterday he cried asking when grandma would come. I looked at my son. A face stained with tears. An expression full of regret. I could feel his sincerity. But I couldn't decide easily. Junyuk, I need to think about it. Mom, if I go back to your house, I'm afraid it'll be the same. That won't happen. I'll protect you. You take your wife's side. I won't. From now on I'll only take your side. Can you promise? Yes, I promise. My son held my hand. Mom, please believe me one more time. This will never happen again. His hand was warm. My son's hand. I remembered walking holding this hand when he was young. Mom, hold my hand. I'm scared. The young son who said that. Now he's become an adult comforting me by holding my hand. All right, Mom, I'll go home. But there are conditions. I'll agree to anything. Mijong must apologize directly. Sincerely. Yes, I'll make sure of it. And never lie to me again. Yes, I promise. Lastly, I paused for a moment. I'm going to live my life too. Without watching your faces. Of course, Mom. My son smiled. It was a smile mixed with tears. I smiled along. It was a smile after a long time. Should we go now? Wait. Let me pack. Yes, take your time. I opened my bag. I put the thermal underwear and sweater back in. Then I took out my husband's notebook. I opened the last page. Sunja, don't give up until the end. The truth will always be revealed. The truth has been revealed. And now, a new beginning. I finished packing. My son picked up the bag. Should we go, Mom? Yes, let's go. I opened the door and went out. We walked down the hallway and got on the elevator. We went down to the first floor. A nurse greeted us. Ma'am, are you already checking out? Yes, my son is taking me. That's good. Stay healthy. Thank you. I walked out the entrance. The winter wind blew. It was cold, but refreshing. My son's car was parked in the parking lot. My son opened the back door for me. I got in the car. It was warm inside. The car started. The nursing home gradually grew distant. Through the rearview mirror, I watched the building grow smaller. I was only there for a day, but it felt like a long time. In that short time, I realized many things. The truth, family, and myself. Mom, are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. When we get home, Mijong is waiting. I know. She'll apologize to you. Okay. I looked out the window. The winter streets passed by. People were walking busily. Everyone was living their own lives. I'm going to live my life now too. Not as someone's burden, but as myself. The car entered the apartment complex. It was a familiar scene. The place I'd lived for 5 years. But it felt different from yesterday. Now it was a place I'd chosen to return to. My son parked the car and looked at me. Mom, are you ready? Yes. We took the elevator and stood in front of the house. When I left through this door yesterday, I thought I'd never return. Come in, Mom. I went inside. Grandma. Min-jae ran out of his room. He ran to me and hugged my waist tightly. Min-jae. Grandma, you really came. You won't leave again? No, I won't leave anymore. I stroked Min-jae's head. It was warm. Min-jae, where's your mom? In her room. She's been crying. My son knocked on the bedroom door. Mijong, Mom's here. The door opened. My daughter-in-law was sitting on the bed. Her hair was disheveled, and her face was stained with tears. Our eyes met. My daughter-in-law jumped up and knelt before me. Mother-in-law, I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. My daughter-in-law bowed her head to the floor. I was crazy. How could I do that to you? Mijong. Yes, mother-in-law. Stand up. My daughter-in-law slowly stood. I looked straight at her. Mijong, I was a daughter-in-law too. I know how hard it is to care for a mother-in-law. Mother-in-law, I understand worrying about money and wanting a second child. Tears flowed from my daughter-in-law's eyes. But you can't lie, especially not to family. I'm sorry. I was wrong too. I didn't know you were struggling. No, mother-in-law. You did nothing wrong. Mijong, let's start over. Honestly, my daughter-in-law looked surprised. Mother-in-law, are you forgiving me? There are conditions. If you're struggling, tell me. Don't suffer alone. Yes, and I'm going to live my life too. Without watching your faces. Yes, mother-in-law. Lastly, never lie again. Yes, I promise. My daughter-in-law burst into tears again. I hugged her. It was the first time. The first time I'd hugged my daughter-in-law. Mother-in-law, thank you. Really thank you. Min-jae looked at us and smiled. Grandma and Mom made up. It was the moment our family became one again. My daughter-in-law wiped her tears and said, Mother-in-law, I quit my job. What? I submitted my resignation yesterday. I don't want to work at a company like that. What will you do now? I don't know, but I won't live like this anymore. My daughter-in-law's eyes had changed. And mother-in-law, about having a second child. We'll think about it later. Right now, living well with Min-jae and you comes first. That's good. That evening, the whole family sat around the table. Soybean paste stew and kimchi pancakes that my daughter-in-law prepared. Mother-in-law, please enjoy. I took the first spoonful. I could taste it. It was a taste I felt after a long time. It's delicious. My daughter-in-law smiled brightly. Min-jae's laughter echoed through the house. It was a warm sound. After eating, I went to put Min-jae to bed. Grandma, tell me a story today. Okay, I'll tell you. As I told the story, Min-jae fell asleep peacefully. I came out to the living room. My daughter-in-law and son were washing dishes. Side by side, having a conversation. They looked good. I went to the window. I looked outside. Stars were shining in the winter night sky. Honey, are you watching? I whispered to my husband. You were right. The truth has been revealed. The stars twinkled. I took out the notebook from my bag. I opened the last page. Sunja, don't give up until the end. The truth will always be revealed. I picked up a pen and wrote another line. Honey, I didn't give up. We're starting over. My daughter-in-law approached. Mother-in-law, would you like some tea? Sure, that sounds good. We sat on the sofa. We drank warm tea. A comfortable silence flowed. Mother-in-law, I'll do better from now on. I know. Mijong, don't try too hard. Let's just live comfortably. Yes, mother-in-law. My daughter-in-law held my hand tightly. Her hand was warm. That night, I lay in my room looking at the ceiling. It was a completely different feeling from the nursing home bed yesterday. Back then it was despair. Now it's hope. What is family? People who sometimes hurt each other, but eventually hold hands again. That seems to be family. The next morning dawned. Winter sunlight came through the window. It was warm. It was a new day. A new beginning. My daughter-in-law was preparing breakfast. Mother-in-law, did you sleep well? Yes, I slept well. The weather's nice today. Would you like to take a walk? Sure, that sounds good. I'll go with you. After breakfast, we went for a walk. I walked side by side with my daughter-in-law. The winter sunlight was warm. We had ordinary conversations, but they were precious conversations. On our way back home, Min-jae returned from school. Grandma, Mom. He ran over and held my hand. It was a warm hand. That evening, I took out my notebook again in my room. I picked up a pen and wrote another line. Today, we made a new beginning. Our family became one again. I closed the notebook. A smile formed. I looked out the window. Stars were shining in the winter night sky. Honey, thank you. Because of you, I didn't give up. The stars shone even brighter. Now I understand. Family isn't perfect. They hurt each other and make mistakes. But they choose sincerity and start over. That's real family. And life is the same. A moment you thought was the end can sometimes become a new beginning. If you don't give up, the truth will always be revealed. Winter will pass and spring will come. A new spring will come to our family too.